December 31st, last day of 2020. Woo! We started on this aileron yesterday, and hopefully we'll get that finished up today and see how far we get on the other aileron. Not much to say here right off the bat. We are going to test fit the push-pull tube in that rib. There are both of those ribs that are in there. We'll get those verified, make sure that those fit before we rivet all that up. So we're checking the bolt fitting on the push-pull tube for the aileron, that fitting, and yes, that bolt is pretty tight in there. It's not fitting all the way through, so we're going to ream that with a 3/8 inch chuck reamer. But I would recommend before you rivet your ailerons together, make sure that that is the right size for your bolt. AN3. Okay, so we've got it reamed out 3/16, and we've got a good fit, just perfect fit in there for that. Okay, I think I talked about this yesterday, might have shown this. Skin can't be touching in these hinges when you rivet this in, so we've got the rib in there, and that's aligned with the alignment hole that we drew on there, and you can see that it's just touching on there. So I'm just going to grab a chuck reamer on a hand drill and just shave a little bit of that, just shave a little bit of this end down here, and I think we've got the same thing down at this end. It's hard to see with the light, but
yeah, it's lined up on there.
Yeah, you can't really see it with the light reflecting off of it, but yeah, we'll have to do the same thing down here. Okay, got this hinge finished. Where's my finger? There it is. Got that hinge hole done as to where that's fitting up. Okay, there's the center line, and she's the light. Lighting sucks.
What do you want me to?
Let's try this again. No, can't hold it that way. Try and
This much? How much?
there you go.
You have it on, is the black line in the middle?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, got this hinge done on this side, the hole in the aileron skin done there. You can see where we've got the clearance for that hinge now. Ended up, I tried using that chucking reamer, just doing it on a hand drill, and that was not working. It's jumping around in there. So I just grabbed a round file and filed that off a little bit. It's kind of a rough file, so we'll sand that off and get that smoothed out. So I did on this other hinge where the hole comes through, we marked this out with a Sharpie where it needs to be shaved off, right there on that corner, and down around the bottom and up the side just a little tiny bit. So I'm just using this rough round file to take that off, and then like I said, we'll sand that and get that cleaned up a little bit. Okay, we'll fit that up and test it out. Okay, got that hole filed out a little bit, and we've now got enough clearance for that hinge right there, so it's not touching the skin, although it is touching up here a little bit, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to fix that. So I'll run a flat file across that and take a little bit off. Okay, I marked on this hole, that's about how much we need to take off of that to make that clearance in there. So I'm just going to use a flat file on it, shave that off, and then we'll sand that nice. Let's see. because we got that shaved off, but we got the square corners on the file tend to kind of gouge in there, so we'll sand that down to a radius. Just grab a little piece of, I just use 400 grit, wedge it in there. Got a little bit of a gouge right there. Fix that. Let's get this top part there. Okay, so this is lining up a little better. Just go just a little bit that way. Right there's the center of the rivet hole. You can see that skin clears all the way around there and all the way up the side, so we're good there. Okay, we've got our number 40s pre-drill, or not pre-drilled, through the skin. Transfer drilled number 40s through the ribs. We'll size these up to a number 30, but make sure that you saw that I had sized up that the hole, reamed the hole on these ribs so that it fit this bolt. And also make sure, I would say, leave that bolt in there while you're fitting this stuff up.
There you go.
What?
You got it.
You got it? All right. So that you can see that bolt is lined up pretty dang good in there. But I would say make sure you leave that bolt in there while you're doing all this other work in here to make sure that these two ribs stay lined up. Got everything clecoed up on this aileron that we're working on. We match drilled, transfer drilled those number 30s in the skin for those ribs. We've got that done, ready to go. We've got our bolt in there for the push-pull on the aileron. Got that there and lined up. That's fitting well. And now we're going to insert the spar into the aileron.
Give it a little twist. There you go. Oh, I didn't.
There we go. Now it's going. Okay, so we've got, we drilled these out 40 and then reamed them out to 30, but we need to be able to get underneath this lip right here to deburr that skin. So what I did was I took a piece of scrap aluminum that I have, right there, put a bend in the end of it, like that. And then we'll just take a piece of gob of sandpaper. This camera is just such a mystery to me. It's things it focuses on, I don't understand. Piece of sandpaper wadded up in there. So then we'll go up under here like this. Use that to sand that off. You can set that down. Okay, so trying to figure out how to deburr the inside of the spar after we drill it. Something I came up with. I use this on those flaps too. Is I just took a broom. I've got a broomstick that is just under the size of this spar. Took a piece of strip of 400 grit, duct tape it onto the handle, wrap it around, and it just fits inside of there. So we can get this to go in there. There we go. And I just kind of turn it as I'm going back and forth in there. Well, you can see all that stuff coming out of there. Keeping a pressure out against these holes. And keep turning it at the same time. We're about halfway down there. Oh yeah, nice and clean. Okay, we're done for the day. Up here, we got this left elevator finished. Aileron. Got this left aileron finished. And I figured in total we were about, what, 6.5 hours from start to finish on this aileron. Curious to see what the difference is when we do the other aileron. It always takes a little longer to do the first one. Everything was pretty drama-free on this one as well. And what do you want to do? You want to flip it over? Oh, you can turn it over. Got it all done, and remember that section I talked about where we make sure to have a bolt through this part here, through these push-pull brackets. So we've got the bolt through there, and I got a nut and washer on it right now, but it's just loose. But you can see that is a perfect fit in there. It just slides back and forth a little bit because just the nuts just put on the end. So I would say be sure that you're getting this this part. Put a bolt in there when you're riveting it up, just leave that in there so that make sure that fits good.
The other thing we were wondering about too is to maybe not do the last.
Oh yeah.
Rivets.
So one of the things you have to do on this is you saw that we drill these holes out in this leading edge, not in the leading edge. We go through the leading edge and drill the holes in the spar for the rivets. And the previous step to this is riveting up to this point, and then you do this next step. Well, that makes this really tight in here to sand, to get a little piece of sandpaper under there to deburrow those holes. I think the next one will probably rivet it up to maybe this point, or maybe this. We'll rivet up maybe up to here, and leave this last one. Well, I don't know. I mean, we were able to get it sanded out fine.
That's true.
But if you're wanting to get your fingers under there to clean that out, you're going to want to leave probably these last 2 rivets out on each of these ribs, so you can flip that skin up, or you can fabricate a little tool like we did. Whoops, sorry about that. Took a little piece of aluminum that I had on hand, just put a little bend on the end of it, and you just hold some a wad of sandpaper on there, and it just fits right under that leading edge, and you can just sand that right out. So that worked pretty good. I showed you the broom handle deal with a 400 grit sandpaper wrapped around it to deburr the inside of that. I know some builders are using, I think, just a round Scotch-Brite disc on the end of a broom handle too that they cut. They make a disc and put it in there and kind of spin it through. But the sandpaper worked great too. So we're not going to be up tomorrow. We're taking the day off tomorrow for Happy New Year. Yeah, that's right. New Year's Eve. End of 2020. I guess I said that in the intro. Yay, 2020 is over with, but careful what you wish for. So we'll be off tomorrow for New Year's, and probably come up, maybe we'll come up on Saturday, do that other aileron. Still need to get the wiring ordered for the wing. Got to get that stuff ordered. Been doing a little reading up on the pitot tube. It's I can't remember if, I think someone asked about it. It's a Garmin GAP26. I got the unregulated heated pitot that we're going to do with that, with an AOA in it. So been reading up on that. But yeah, I'll cover that when we get to it. So Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you're liking the videos. If you do, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And appreciate the views. Thanks for watching. And yeah, that's it for now.